Hello everyone, I am Tinie and also known as Tinie, your host for today. Welcome to the one and only Tinie's Discovery channel, where I, Tinie, will share with you all of my discoveries and for you to sit back, relax and enjoy the show. In today's episode, I will be uncovering about strangers approaching strangers. Now, I know that many Malaysians are known to be friendly and tolerable by Google. However, aren't you curious? How many Malaysians still feel scared to approach a stranger? How many are willing to meet one and know one? Is Google really that accurate about Malaysian people? That is what I will try to discover today. And to help me with this episode, I interviewed a few students from different universities to get the data needed for my analysis. As you all know, students are the new generation who are known to be more open when it comes to friends and strangers. They are the one who kept meeting new people and get to know new people in order to establish new connections, which will help them and enrich them through their life. They are also the one who encountered many different types of current people and kept in touch with the new reality of this world. So with this, we could say that they will give us their honest opinion and enlighten us with their stories regarding strangers here in Malaysia. Now, to stop me from talking gibberish, let's watch this footage together. Guys, just a heads up and warning, it'll be wise for you to lower down the volume just for a bit for Harish's footage, interview footage, since there's a bit of environmental noise which is caused by the university since they were renovating at the current time. So I am deeply sorry for the inconvenience and I hope you enjoy this interview.
Hi, okay. Hello, okay. First thing first, would you please introduce yourself?
Okay, my name is Hafiz and I'm 18 years old. To be honest, I am a very introvert person, not that type of friendly person, but sure I can be friend with anyone. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Ellyeana, Sofhea Binti Yusmi-Alfian, and people usually call me Ellie. So I would describe myself as a very friendly person when it comes to meeting new people, and I would say I am slightly introvert, but I'm mostly an extrovert person.
Hi, I'm Amani. Okay, so based on my MBTI personality test, I am actually categorized as an introvert. However, I think the word that suits me the best would be ambivert, because I do feel and think that talking to people or starting conversation with strangers wouldn't as difficult as other introverts would say.
Okay, second question is that I'd like you to imagine that it is your first day as a student in Sunday where you know no one. Everyone else is a stranger to you, and then suddenly a person comes to you and say, "Hi, how are you? I am Tinie. What's your name? You are new here, right? Want to be friends?" How would you feel like in that situation? Would you feel welcome and relieved that somebody approached you, or would you feel uncomfortable?
To be honest, if that my first day, I will be relieved and welcomed by her, because she wanna be friend with me, and sure, I love to be friends with her too. That's for me.
I personally think that I absolutely will feel welcomed and relieved that someone actually take that first step to introduce themselves to someone who they don't even know. And I personally think that that's the bravest thing that a person would ever do. I mean, that's great.
Actually, I like it very much when people approach me first, because I don't have to approach people first, obviously, because although I do admit that talking to people is not a big deal for me, I'm still an introvert, and starting conversation with people is actually pretty difficult.
Okay, so what if that situation were to occur in public, which is outside of campus? How would you feel then?
I will feel a little bit uncomfortable because since they are stranger, and I've been taught that you cannot trust strangers so too much.
I don't think that it would be any problem. I mean, on the campus, outside the campus, it's just the same person, you know? So yeah, I don't think that's gonna be a problem. I'm clearly good with anything. I would just, if a person comes to me and they introduce themselves and they want to be friends, yeah, of course, why not?
If I in a public space that I have never been to, if I in somewhere that I'm unfamiliar with, I would feel extremely uncomfortable.
And how would you feel if you saw someone very extroverted, the happy-go-lucky kind of person? Would you stay away from them, or would you want to get to know them?
So as for the next question, like I said, I am an extrovert person, and when it comes to meeting someone who is also an extrovert, I would say, yeah, of course I want to be friends with someone who is extrovert.
As an introvert person, I will love to get know more about them. But at the same time, it will bring my social energy, and yeah, it depends on the situation for me.
I like it so much. I like them. I would make friends with them. Actually, I like people with big personality because I find them entertaining. Having someone that actually talks a lot, I would like to be their friends. I want to be their friends.
How about someone who seems like the quiet type?
So, based from my opinion, when I see someone who is a quiet type of person, I would love to be that first person to make the first move by introducing myself to him or her.
I think I would still make friends with them because, like I say, I'm ambivert. I can be really quiet and really noisy. Depends on the persons and situations. So I don't really mind.
Then would you approach a stranger?
Will I approach a stranger? For me, not. No, because I'm a type of introvert person. Because I'm shy and not confident of myself to approach them. And wanna be friendly with them, I cannot do that.
Would I approach a stranger? Yes or no? I would say yes, but depends on the situation too. And first of all, this being me being honest, I would the first thing that I would do is that I would observe that person first, like from a far distance. Like I would observe, yes, that's basically it. I would observe that person first, and I would try to, like, my mind's going to be like running through these thoughts, like should I go to him or her, or should I, like, no, I just stay here. Maybe I should go or just stay here. Yeah, like something like that. But yeah, I would the first thing that I would do is observe, and then I'll just go ahead and just meet them. Yeah.
Okay, if you don't mind me asking, have you ever had an uncomfortable moment with a stranger before? Can you please describe the moment?
Have I ever had an uncomfortable situation with a stranger before? Yes, I have. The awkward thing is that I bravely stood up, like, to her and introduced myself and, like, can I, like, get to know you? And it was so awkward. I mean, maybe she was a shy person, I don't know. And then, like, she just smiled and, like, yeah, sure. And then just a few seconds after that, and, like, she basically walked away from me. I don't know why. Maybe it's the way I dress or the way I look. I don't know, but yeah, she walked away from me. So by walking away, really, like, tells me that she doesn't want to make a conversation with me. So that's okay. But yes, that was the most uncomfortable situation that I ever been through.
I remember Once I was cycling by myself. Like I was cycling like all like normal people do, like minding my own business. Suddenly like a group of boys catcalling me. And it was like, I feel like it's necessary. Like, why would you do that? Especially I'm a woman. I'm all by myself. I'm cycling, minding my own business. And then suddenly, oh my god, oh, pee-wee. I don't know why people do that. But yeah, it's really uncomfortable and I really hate it. Oh, ever since then, I never go cycle around that place anymore.
Those were the students that I managed to get an interview with since we are all still in pandemic. I am deeply sorry since I am unable to interview strangers from different places and from different age group in public since I am one of the people who are scared of COVID. Lol, okay. Let us continue with this episode with the data that I managed to garner from one of CiliSos' article, which is called "Are Malaysians Friendly?" According to CiliSos, they ran a survey in 2017 called Malaysian Friendliness Survey 2017. They managed to get 3,500 respondents to participate, and majority of them were from Selangor, followed by Kuala Lumpur, Penang, Sarawak, and Perak. They also mentioned that they actually got respondents from every state but was unable to obtain that many people from Kelantan and Perlis to participate since they were only about less than 20 people that participated in the survey. The survey was run from 17th of February till 1st March in 2017. Now to continue, the results they have gotten were quite wonderful and a bit funny. They stated that 4% of people would ignore a stranger if the stranger doesn't have enough money to pay for a bus ticket or a train ticket. This means Malaysians are not only friendly but also got warm hearts. According to the survey, 52% would give one their spare change and 42% would give their money to help one regardless of the cost and the ticket, and only 3% would politely say no. And of course, the remaining 1% would pretend that they don't know how to speak English, and 2% chose none of the above. However, does this speak for all of us? Definitely not. But it does give us some intel regarding people here in Malaysia. Now let's continue to another interesting fact about Malaysian people in this survey. It stated that Malaysian women seem to be friendlier than Malaysian men. Why? Because more Malaysian women would smile in the lift and say thank you to the cashier. However, there is some part that contradicts this, which is the answers by men. 67% of men actually considered themselves as friendly as compared to women, and more men would prefer to have a good conversation with their Grab driver as compared to women. Now, on to the most important part in this survey. Do Malaysians people consider themselves as the friendly type? And do they think the same way about other fellow Malaysian people? CiliSos stated that they were pleasantly surprised to see that 67% of Malaysians considered themselves as friendly, and majority of respondents answered that Malaysians are generally friendlier. Only 28% said that Malaysians are only friendly to tourists, and 19% said that Malaysians are not friendly at all. For their fifth question, on their survey, they managed to get a quite surprising result, which stated that there are more Selangorians who have difficulty talking to people compared to KLites due to social anxiety. Guys, I know that it is very difficult for one to have social anxiety to approach a stranger, but that does not mean that you should stop approaching one to connect with new people. Just give yourself some time and collect the courage you need before you approach one, okay? Now, on to the last one. They stated that Malaysians don't really care about race, social class, or religion when it comes to helping a stranger. Majority of respondents responded very positively to being kind and helpful to others. Now, this is truly heartwarming and it could actually make me cry. But let's save yourself from watching me do the ugly cry. That is the end of the survey. Now, from what I could conclude, there are still a few Malaysians who are scared to approach a stranger since they are afraid that things might turn bad on their end. Even extroverts and ambiverts still need to assess the situation and think twice if they want to approach someone who they don't know. Not only that, but many would rather approach someone and help one if they think that it helps them. Therefore, Google might be accurate regarding Malaysians. We are friendly and tolerable when it comes to helping one another even though we don't know each other. However, there are no real numbers to this, therefore I could not really say much about this and I am deeply sorry about that. Now, does this feed your curiosity, guys? Let us move on to the next segment, which is the ending. I know, it is very sad to see me go, but don't make it too obvious. Greeny, right? Yes. I'm not lying though. We have come to the end of the show. To sum it up, we could really say that Malaysians are actually okay with approaching strangers. They really are friendly and tolerable. However, I could not say much about this since I don't really have enough data and not all Malaysians manage to answer this survey. But from what I experienced through these several years of living in Malaysia, yes, I do. I am born in Malaysia. I do really think that Malaysians are friendly and kind. Of course, not everyone is friendly and not everyone always seems approachable. And of course, we would eventually encounter that weird and uncomfortable moment with a stranger. But it takes one to know one. So give yourself a chance to meet a stranger here in Malaysia and open up your heart to new connections because we never know when and where will we get to meet our new friend, best friend, partners in crime, and even our soulmate. Please open up yourself for these new opportunities and thrilling memories, but with caution. That is all from me, your host. Don't forget to press the like button and subscribe for more. Thank you for watching, have a nice day, and take care, folks. Don't forget to share your moments with strangers in the comment.